corporate recruiter here to review your resumes to get you ahead of your job search. So the resume we have up first is a back-end Python software engineer. And just to let everybody know, I do more than tech resumes, but right now tech is in the toilet, so most of the resumes that are sent to me are tech. So for a back-end Python developer, what we need is Python, SQL, any of them, Docker, Cloud, any of the clouds. But if you do say GCP, the very first time you need to write it out should be Google Cloud Platform, and then parentheses GCP. RESTful APIs or REST APIs, Git, CI/CD, AI, ML, agentic, and its specific tools, or full stack. So basically there is a division in Python developers on the back end where you either are a full stack developer or you are an AI based software engineer whose basis is Python with a smidge of AI. It's nice to have that plane not fly over. It's nice to have fast API, Flask, or Django, and sometimes you can find ETL, Java, OAuth 2, MongoDB microservices, but most of the time you're not going to find those. So recruiters only have, and hiring managers, 20 seconds to find what we need. And to clarify, what we are looking for is qualifications, not keywords. These are keywords. And what makes a keyword a qualification, and a keyword is, just to let everybody know, basically a skill that the hiring manager needs, whether it's a soft skill like customer service or a hard skill like agentic, LangGraph, that kind of stuff. So what a qualification is a keyword plus how you used it, plus the reason or result of you using it, plus where you used it. If it's not those four things, it does not count on your resume. So this is a truly garbage resume, and I know that because they told me their ratio, which is how many applications it takes you to get an interview, and it is over 150. So for the record, a average bog standard C- resume would get about 50 applications to one interview, unless you're international, in which case you want between 30 to 100 applications to get an interview. So this is terrible because it takes them over 150 applications. So feel free to say this is garbage, and the rest of the world also thinks so. Not the engineer themselves, just the resume. Those are separate. So can I find what I need in 20 seconds? No, because again, it's a bad resume. So 20 seconds on the clock. And go. Okay, this doesn't count. Okay, this is so hard to read. This is a nightmare. Okay, worked on AI project which focused on paperwork. Where's even the Python? What is this? There's not. Okay, AWS at least is good. And RAG is nice. All right, that's it. Yeah, the only thing I found here was AWS and RAG. Where's your Python, bro? God, oh, it's all the way down there. Yeah, this is why you're having a problem. You are a Python developer. You know what they want to see? Python. You know how many people apply to roles and the manager does not move them forward because they do not see the correct backend language? This is one of your problems. So first, what you need to do. And let me read what you wrote. Your note says, I have 90 days until my visa expires. Okay, so you are even if you were not on a visa, this is a terrible resume. This is a nightmare to read. I found absolutely nothing I needed, and I need 75% to move you forward. So even if you were a U.S. citizen or green card holder, you still would not be moved forward for this resume. This is bad. Never do this. You actually need to delete all of this because there's absolutely nothing here that is salvageable. Yeah, there's nothing that is salvageable. Okay, so what your resume needs to look like, is this. Okay? This is what it should look like. I don't care if you're a PhD AI developer or a barista, your resume looks the same. There is no difference in formatting for your resume. The only difference is if you're in, you do primarily contract work or you are a high-level manager, they want a different resume. How you do that is here. It is in the link below. This is how you need to do it. This resume is an abomination. You cannot find anything you need. So, that first off, again, delete this. Nothing here matters. I can't use anything here. Also, I clocked something that is pretty bad. Is is your phone number, right? You say it starts with 71. Is this dialable in the country? Because if this is not dialable in the country that you are applying to, you've already failed. You need your phone number to be dialable and your email not to bounce. And the amount of candidates who don't have that is shockingly higher than you would think. So make sure your phone number is good. And again, delete this. This doesn't matter. And delete this little line thing. I don't know why everybody puts all these stinking lines in. I don't want these lines. Makes it harder to read. Then here, this should be one... wrong button. This should be one line, and it should be italicized. Right? That's it. One line here. Not even italicized. Should be one line, not bolded. Okay? Not bolded. Nothing. The only things that need to be bolded in your resume, the only things are the education section, the experience, your name, and the projects. Nothing else should be bolded in your resume. Nothing. Then here, again, I don't care about your courses. That can be deleted. You've already got a Master's of Science. Okay, so this, again, don't want your courses. See, this is already making it easier to read. You have so much extraneous information here. Then we go down into the experience section itself. So remember, software engineer intern should be italicized. All of it needs to be italicized, okay? This needs to be italicized as well. All right, the other part was fine. And no bolding. Stop with the bolding. Stop with the bolding. And before you all rage at me, I want to let you know I am an above average tech recruiter. I have, by every metric that recruiters are judged by, which is how fast you fill a role, the volume of roles you fill, and the satisfaction of the hiring manager, which is usually based on the quality of the candidate themselves after the fact, I am above average in all of those metrics. So you are not looking at some tech person who does not know anything about tech. You are looking at the above average version. I would never say I'm the best tech recruiter ever. No, but I am definitely above average. So if I am having trouble with this, then you bet your bottom dollar the recruiter that has primarily done accounting roles, that was forced into doing a software developer role, who has no idea what they're doing for a company, and that is their only software developer role, and they have 29 other different types of roles, is not going to understand what it is. So then we go down here and worked on the AI project. Nothing here is relevant. Like, why do I care about anything in this sentence? So there is a metaphor that I like to use, and I'm going to use it to you now, is one of the biggest issues with candidates is they give the hiring team, so the managers or the recruiters, hot dogs instead of hamburgers. And let me explain. I want you to imagine that you are hungry, right? You are hungry, you are looking for food, and right now your stomach is upset. So you go to a restaurant and you say, hey, I want a hamburger. On that hamburger, I want a cheeseburger, right? So just cheeseburger, and I want pickles and no tomatoes and no onions. I just want cheeseburger, the hamburger itself, and pickles. That's it. That's the only thing you're asking. So the waiter goes like, all right, cool, that's chill. All right, I'll go get you that. So they go back to the thing. It takes them however long it takes to cook. I don't know, like 20 minutes, 5 minutes, depends on the restaurant. They bring you the hamburger, and instead of a hamburger, they brought you a hot dog. And you'd be like, what is this? I wanted a hamburger. And they said, well, hold on. This is a meat in a bun with cheese on it and sometimes pickles, depending on if you want Chicago style or American style, the rest of it. So you would be like, I don't care. I wanted a hamburger. This is a hot dog. And that is the exact problem that you have done with your resume, is worked on the X project as a 5-person team with focus on automated paperwork. Fine. Nothing there is something I need. Built a clinical transcript RAG. Okay, AI again is nice, but where's the Python? Used AWS Lambda. Okay, and Amazon Bedrock. I don't care about that. That's a hot dog. You know what I care about? Git. I care about Python. There's no Python in your resume except for the very bottom and the very top, which don't count. So what else can I not find in your resume? SQL. Let's find SQL. There it is, all the way down here. SQL is all the way down here. And then you have it 3 times in the same sentence. Okay, great. That should be higher up. SQL is important. Docker. What about Docker? All the way down there. I missed it because of your formatting. Great. Okay. What about Git? I think I actually did see Git. No, you don't have Git in your resume. It's all the way at the bottoms of the project, which again, do not count. Sorry, in the technical skills section. Nothing in the technical skills section counts. So you do not have Git anywhere in your resume. CI/CD, I did see out of the corner of my eye, but again, it's all the way buried deep in your bullet points. And then for AI, you have one or two of the things I want. I do like some of the stuff you have AI, but what about Fast API, right? No, there it is. Okay, cool. Missed it because your formatting was so bad. What about Flask? Nope, don't have Flask. All right, what about Django? Nope, don't have Django. Okay, yeah, so that is your problem, is you bury this stuff in too many hot dogs when I'm looking for hamburgers. And this is it. Like, so many candidates put in all this complicated stuff that implies they know what they want to, like, that they know it. We don't want that. If something is implied in your resume, it is implied that you do not have it. That is a hard and fast rule. So I know you're on a clock. I know you're facing a lot of trouble here, but this is why you're having a problem, is your resume has like nothing I want, right? Like, why do I care that you reduced costs? I don't care about that. Developed an AI agent. Okay, cool. Use Fast API. Okay, good. But again, why is this 2 sentences and not 1? Organized text to speak SQL. Why did you put it? Again, I don't want text to SQL. I want SQL, MySQL, or NoSQL, right? So you can say optimized an agent to provide SQL results for NLP. I guess that's not even natural NLP. That's just natural queries. Again, why is this 2 sentences? This reeks of AI use. Used Vanna AI to train models and wrote 70 SQL. Again, you already mentioned that. You know what is impact? It's not a number. Unless you're in sales or a manager, the only numbers you should have on your resume are your dates of employment, your education, if you have it, and your phone number. So there is almost every single thing wrong with this resume, which is why even if they were not an international, even if they did not have 90 days, they would struggle. This is a terrible, terrible resume. So for everybody else at home, do not make your resume like this. If your resume looks like this, delete it. Make it look like this and have it do this stuff. Because you know what would be an infinitively better sentence? It would be, all right, created a AI agent using Python, Docker, CI/CD, SQL, and LangGraph. Right now, maybe they don't have LangGraph or LangChain. That's fair. Using and RESTful APIs in a CI/CD environment. That would be fantastic. That would be an infinitively better bullet point than anything here. And then you can add that to do our X and Y. So please, when you're making your resume, you absolutely need to make the basic stuff. You know what accountants need to put in? They need to put in Excel. You know what recruiters need to put in? We need to put in ATS. Almost every single recruiter that has been doing this for more than 3 months has used an ATS. We would still need to put it in our resumes. So you need to put the basic boring stuff. So that's all I can do for this resume. And if you ever need more help, you can always join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. That is where I review these and record this live before I post it to YouTube. And I can help people a little bit more because I just don't have the time on the YouTube video. And I wanted to thank you all for supporting me, for liking, commenting, subscribing. That actually really helps. Sharing it to your friends and family. I seriously helps a small creator like me a lot. And I wanted to thank everybody who's a member, which you can join in the link below. You get access to videos a little bit early. Thank you very much for supporting me. It really does mean a lot to me. And let's go to the next resume. This is a mistake. Do not ever put data or business analyst, because guess what? Those are 2 separate roles. A data analyst has different qualifications than a business analyst. So this is not a business or data analyst. This is going to be a data analyst. So we are only looking for data analyst. This is not for business analyst. This person's ratio is 150. So again, really bad resume. Your resume should be ideally under under 50 to 1, unless you're international, in which case anywhere between 1 in 30 to 1 in 100 is okay. Internationals just have a real tougher struggle. So this is a bad resume. So what do we need in a data analyst? We need degree, industry, SQL, data visualization, Tableau, Power BI, Looker, influencing stakeholders, explaining technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders, how you solved a problem with data, not what the data is. This is a very, very key mistake that so many people make in data analysts, is that they tell me how they got the data. They tell me what all the data is, and nobody cares. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean, like, you're talking to somebody, like, when you, like, your boss may be somebody that can't turn on their computer. They're not going to know or care what a Monte Carlo simulation flip-flop is. They're only going to want to know if it make number go up, even though you don't want to write numbers in your resume. They want to know the point of it. So what you did with the data, not what the data is. MS Excel, macros, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, Word, ETL, maybe ELT as well, but I would prefer you put ETL. Python, R, multiple projects and deadlines, and nice to have is cloud and AI. So I will not be able to find that because, again, this is 150 to 1, but let's see what we've got. So 20 seconds on the clock and go. Okay, can't use anything here. Where's your education? Okay, good. Education is down there. Reduced reconciliation deficits. What? My ability to make with 2. Okay. What? Streamline a report from 6 to hours. I don't care about that. Perfect and incremental. Blah, blah, blah. Nope, not related. Power DI dashboards and time. Yeah, this is bad. Did you write me any notes? No, you did not. Okay, so all I know is that it doesn't get interviews. So first off, remember, nothing in a skills section counts. Stop making skills sections. They're worthless. Stop the skills sections. They do not help you. Entry-level recruiters will say they help you. They do not. Managers do not have them. They're not good. If you're a high-level director, there is a case to be made for a skills section, but you are not a high-level director. Second off, what mostly of the time in like the title of your job is not a big deal breaker, but why is it that you told me you want a data analyst or a business analyst, and the very first job that you mentioned is a data engineer? That's 3 different jobs, bro. Second, reduced reconciliation defects. Okay, again, what my problem with this isn't that you told me that you reduced the reconciliation deficits. The problem is, why is that important? I don't know. You had the right idea, right? You didn't tell me how you got the data as much. You told me what you did with it. But again, I don't understand what a reconciliation deficit is. Why did you want to reduce them? I don't know. You did not tell me. By modeling CRM, I don't care about CRM. CRM is not related. And billing data, again, not really related. As dimensional SCD, again, nothing related. 2 tables, not related. But Postgres, not related. SQL is. And I'm aware there is PostgreSQL, but I've never seen someone put Postgres with SQL. I've never. So SQL and Python are actually good. What is a governed source of truth? Are you a wizard? Casting a truth spell? Which is a 3rd level in 5th edition. People can correct me on that. I'm now playing Pathfinder instead of 5th edition, so I don't know that the ratio, like what the spell levels are. Yeah, so the only thing I see here is SQL and Python, and that you reduced deficits, but I don't know why that was important. I don't know what else you did. That's part of the problem. Then streamline reporting efforts. Okay, that's fine. By automating extract, transform loads. Don't care. Again, I don't care how you did it. I just care that you did it with whatever you wrote here, which I canceled out, which now I'm forgetting what I wrote, which was prefect. Yeah, I don't care about prefect. What is prefect? It's irrelevant. And incremental as SQL models. You already mentioned SQL. So the rule for this, and this goes for everybody, is you never want to repeat the same keyword in the same job. Sometimes you're forced to, but ideally you should not. So it is good to put SQL here. Let me say, so this SQL here, good. SQL, oh, is it literally nowhere else? No. SQL down here, good. This shows years of experience. This shows that you've used it since July. This shows that you've used it for since September to March. That's good. What's bad, though, is saying it here because this is irrelevant. So put it in different jobs. That's good. Never put it more than once in the same job. Although the real problem is here, like the rest of these bullet points are just bad. They're not telling me what I need. Boosted retention. Okay, that's good. And cross-sell. What is cross-sell? I don't know. So I'm using way too many different colors for this. What is cross-sell? I don't know. By building a Power BI dashboard. Good. Using DAX. Don't care. Power Query. Not related. Don't care. And row-level security. Again, don't care. Revealing churn drivers. Okay, that's actually understandable a bit to a layman. It's still a little too technical, but at least most people would get that. And enabling targeted campaigns through cohort analysis. What is that? I don't know. What is targeted campaigns? What was the point of that? I don't know. Implemented great expectations. Are we the Great Gatsby? What? And Datadog monitors. Again, not related. You're not the software engineer. Don't really care about Datadog. Actually, again, I don't think I'd even care about that if I was looking for a software engineer. If you worked at Datadog, that's a different, but actually using it as much is not as relevant. And this is not relevant. So if you noticed, the only things I found that were actually useful, which I think I did the hot dog and hamburger metaphor, is SQL, right? And Python. And there was one, and Power BI. So you spent 4 bullet points and 7 lines to tell me 3 things that you could have fit in the first 5 words of your resume, which you didn't. So that is one of the problems, is that none of the rest of this is related. And if you go down to the other ones, it's also the same thing. Like I see ELT, which is good. That part's good. I don't care about 99% or whatever accuracy right down here. Again, not related, not related. Accelerated decisions. What? That's some corporate garbo. That means nothing. You want to avoid having corporate language in your resume. Once you're like in corporate, yeah, use corpo, but not in your resume. The resume needs to be easy to understand, and the purpose of a majority of corporate language is to remove the context or blame, or alternatively remove the actual increase ambiguity, which is the opposite of what you want in a resume. So not good. KPI don't care about. Drill through don't care. So again, nothing here is related. Nothing here is related. What Parquet data sets? That's the second time I've seen that. Oh, here it is. AWS and Glue. So again, I have to go all the way down here. It takes me this long to find 5 things I need from here, and I need 75% of this list. That is not it. This is why your resume is bad, is you are focused on the wrong things. You are putting everything in a skills section, which does not count, to be clear. And you have absolutely nothing in the bullet points that show how you've done what you've done, the reason or result of what you've done, and the how you did it, which is the only things that actually matter. So redo this resume. You probably need to delete this all and start again, and make a separate resume for data analyst than you have for data business analyst, than you have for data engineer. Those are 3 separate jobs that require 3 separate qualifications. Next, resume. This is a stop. Nope, it's not an AI engineer. It's not a data engineer. It's a data scientist. You cannot have multiple job titles for your resume. You need to pick one. Right? This is like one of the biggest techniques I can teach you all, like a job hack or whatever you want to call it, is your resume needs to be tailored to the job title that you are applying to, but not the job itself. So you need a data scientist resume that is different from a data engineer resume that is different from whatever else the other one was, an AI engineer. Those are all different jobs, and a very, very, very good data engineer resume will get you rejected from data scientist roles, and vice versa. Your resume needs to be tailored to a job title. That is like number 3 rule, right after making sure your contact information is correct. And no, I guess number 2 rule. Yeah, one of the number 2 rules. Oh, and if it's implied, it's not in your resume. So 20 seconds for a data scientist. For degree, Python, R, SQL, data in all its forms, so data modeling, data analytics, data lakes, blah, blah, blah. Industry, there are going to be a couple of industry-specific keywords that I'm just not going to be able to find, and that's okay. Like healthcare once, H17, I think it was. while other stuff will want SDLC, but really there's only going to be like 1 or 2 different keywords. So explaining stuff to non-technical folks and influencing stakeholders, I'm going to need to see that. That's like one of the most important things. Doesn't matter if you're the most technical person in the world. If your boss can't turn on their computer and you can't explain to them what a Monte Carlo flop is. So cross-functional ML ops, which I've been seeing more, interestingly. Microsoft Office, so Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Yes, you need to do it. Yes, you need to put it in. Again, the basics are what gets you a job, and that is basics. Or Google Sheets, they're interchangeable. AI, LLM, ML, NLP, Spark, Skibbity-learn, Pandas, NumPy, Scikit-learn, whatever. You don't need all of those, and honestly, there's so many different types of AI. Just don't overdo it, right? Like, a lot of people put so much AI in their resume when it's not an AI first role. So I just need to see a little bit, like a little garnish, right? A little bit goes a long way. So this unknown ratio, I do not know the ratio. This person said, just roast this resume. It was written by a career coach, man. Oh boy. Okay, so I'm going to tear this apart because this was written by a career coach. So the first thing they immediately failed on is they didn't pick a job title. Again, that is critical. So 20 seconds on the clock. This is bad. All right, and go. Okay, data scientist. Can't use anything here. Can't use anything here. This is garbage. Where's your education? Oh my god, this is horrible. Okay, MS degree. Okay, good. Technical. Okay, garbage. 420. Okay, that's weird. Remote. Wait, what? Okay. Led the automation leaders PS standing with GitLab, CI/CD. Okay. Why do I care about code reviews? Filtering for data decisions to show. I actually like that one. That one's okay. And that's time. All right. Yeah, this immediately failed. So what did this fake career coach do? And I'm calling them fake because they're bad at it. I guess bad career coach. So first off, again, none of this part matters up here. This whole section could be deleted. You do not want a summary. The only ever times you want a summary are one of 3 situations. One, you are explaining a visa because there is a difference in how an OPT and an H-1B work. And if you have an H-1B on an approved I-40 versus an H-1B on a non-I-approved 40, those are different things and they can impact your chances. They shouldn't, but people are going to be people. So that's one thing. The second is if you are changing industries, and I don't mean just starting. I mean if you're going from a wind turbine expert to a machinist, which is a real thing that had happened that I had to reject a candidate for, then you need a summary, right? That level of different. If you're going from a medical doctor to a recruiter, I'm going to need a reason for that. The third one is if you are relocating. So relocating is a giant yellow to red flag. But what you want to do is instead put moving to X by Y date can move earlier sooner. That removes that red flag. So those are the only 3 reasons. So your education should have been here. So education, I am not, there we go. Education should have been there. There we go. I'm not an artist. I will not win any artist competitions. Then we go down to here. And your first entire sentence is garbage. I don't care about, you know what? I'm going to actually do this. GitLab and CI/CD might actually be something they care about for industry specific. That's not necessarily the case, and the problem is, again, that's the industry, but I don't want you to lead with that either. Then we go down to here, and this is almost a good sentence, actually. This is almost a good sentence, so I like the context, right? Like, the thing is, you told me what you did, and this is actually a very good description of what you did. The problem is, none of it is related because you didn't tell me how you used any of this stuff with it. So, like created data-driven decisions to show COVID-19 impact using Python, R, MLOps, AI, Word, Excel. Like, that's how you need to do on radio due to UPS and focus sampling. So again, and I don't care about, you definitely got scammed, bro. I hope you can get your money. And I don't care about this part. So again, actually how they wrote this is not terrible. It just, I need one of these in there. I need 3 of those at a minimum. Then developed end product scale for out. Why is that related? Nothing. That is what I'm looking for. No one cares. Geez, did they? I don't know if they threw this in AI or they did this themselves, but this is a terrible resume. Translated access code to Python implements. Again, Python is good, but your job is not translating, and I don't care about the rest of this. So the only thing I care about is Python and SQL here. Like, what is reduced production? Again, nothing. You way over technical. Like, this is a scam artist. I hope you can take them to court because this is an abomination. Centralized and templated custom libraries, okay. To dependency containers, don't care. To support pip environments, what? And Docker, yeah, again, nothing there is related. Again, I'm fine with Python, but the rest of it isn't. Like, I could go down here. There's, like, nothing in this. Like, you have... This resume is almost blank. They're so bad. They're so bad. What did you use Python for? How is it related to being a data scientist? I don't know. How did you explain stuff to non-technical folks? Did you influence stakeholders? That is critical and it's missing. What about Word and Excel? Did you use anything in Excel? It's not even on your resume. What about any type of AI? Nothing, but that's okay. You could probably get away with not having AI. Where's dashboards or data visualization? All the way down here? It's all the way deep on the second page, right down there. No. It's right. There's no way people are going to have to scroll all the way from here, all the way from here, all the way from here, down into this part to actually get to that. That's a key keyword. So yeah, this is garbage. You need to delete this and start again. This was a waste of money, and I hope you can leave a terrible review and shame this career coach because this is terrible. This is bad. This is bad. This is really, really bad. And there's also something that I do want to mention that I don't, which could lead to problems, is this. So I'm assuming that you meant April 2000 to present. The problem is that, okay, yeah, that don't write it like that. If you're writing this out, put the full year. There is a chance that they think that this is actually from the fourth day of the fourth. Sorry, they would think this is April 20th, which is different than April 2000. So there's a chance they could think that you did this in this year. And considering how long your resume is, I don't think they'd even get down to here where it would make more sense. So make sure you write out the actual year, because that is a small thing that could have a problem. So 2000 and is fine. Which, no, it'd be 2020. There we go. 2020 to present is fine. And then down here it would be 5 to, and then it would be this, and it would be to bad artist. There we go, like this. To that. So that is definitely what you want to do. Because right now, there is a small chance, and it's not everyone, but it is a chance, and you want to remove it, that they mess up and think that is just this 20th of April. So let's go to the next resume. But yeah, you need to get your money back. That's a scam artist. This is, again, don't do this. Your resume needs to be titled to a specific job title. So this is not a entry-level analyst financial fraud risk. This is particularly and specifically, and other words while I try to actually get this up in time, this is a financial analyst. So this is only for a financial analyst. So for a financial analyst, what I need is degree, Microsoft Excel, pivot tables, lookups, macros, etc. PowerPoints, Word. Also, Google, the Google version of that would be fine as well. I always forget what they're specifically called, but meeting deadlines and multitasking, working with cross-functional teams, customers and stakeholders, and influencing them. I need to see that. Your job is to not get the data. Your job is to influence people with the data and tell them, hey, when our product is blue, number go up compared when product is red. This is why, and you need to explain that to somebody that cannot turn on their monitor or needs help writing an email. And I'm not even being facetious. I'm seriously. That is part of your job. That is why they're hiring you. Proactively solving problems with data. Again, I want to see that you have solved problems with the data and that you were not just reactive with it, that you anticipated problems due to the data and you got them people to solve it, right? Even if you were not solving them yourself, that you found the data and you convinced people of it and you got them to change is fine. And nice to have is SAP and Microsoft Teams. So this person's has a 1 in 50 ratio. So this is probably, again, okay. This is like a C- resume. So I'm expecting to see some things that I need and some other stuff that I don't, that it could be improvement. So 20 seconds on the clock and go. Okay, good. Formatting, complete 8 intensive courses. Don't care as much. Projects, okay. Proving detection, activity rules. Okay, work history. Work with CFO departments to pay vendors for hardware, software. Oh, good. You show that you see CFO. Assist with month-end closing through bank. Ooh, good. I like that. Excel, Google. Okay, good. Category suspension accruals and QuickBooks Online to build financial statements will lead to a perfect. Okay, so yeah, the later half of your resume is better than the first. So local job market is desolate for opportunities. That is fair. I try to tell people that they should apply to jobs. About 50 applications a week, but I will, obviously, if you're in rural Kansas in the middle of nowhere, there's not going to be 50 applications a week just available, nor if you're a high-level director. So, but ideally, for the average, a good rule of thumb is 50 a week. What advice would you suggest to an applicant that's consider relocating? So, what I would suggest, and this is the one of the few times you want a summary, is right under here, right under the U.S. citizen in X town, you need to put moving to X by Y date can move earlier if needed. Because remember, relocating is a giant yellow flag, potentially red flag. So the reason for that is baby recruiters, and I did that when I was first starting out, and hiring managers that haven't had it happen yet, they will find a candidate from, let's say, Alaska. They're like, oh, this candidate's got everything they want. They applied. That's fine. We'll do Teams meeting interviews. They said they're open to reload. That's perfect. And then they get the job, and the day they're going to start, they don't show up. And then you have to call them like, what? We hired you. We've been waiting for you to start. What happened? They say, oh, yeah, I changed my mind on relocating. It's not worth it. Means they weren't serious about relocating. So recruiters have to be very picky when you say relo. And the fact is that if you put moving to X by Y date, that shows the company that you are moving to that location, regardless of whether or not that you get this job, so that you are serious about moving. So that is what you need to do if you're relocating. And again, you will put it right under here. You don't even need to put summary. Just say moving to X by Y date, can move earlier if needed. The next part is part of your resume is kind of bad and part of it is good. So remember, I don't really care about this stuff. Like, I understand why you wanted to give context on this. The problem is I don't think any of this context is even necessary. So an AI, ML, and fraud analytics is probably going to be a relevant certificate. But what you should do is, instead of putting a separate section, you need to move it and put it under that. There we go. Oh boy, I messed. Okay, everything's messing up. You're going to put it under this. So it's going to be like this. There's going to be another bullet point, and then you're going to put it over here. That's what it's going to look like. And you're going to put education/certs. Okay, I wish there was a way for me to actually write and type. That is what you're going to do for that. And again, you do not care about anything else under this, so this can be deleted. And then we have to the projects, which is fine. My problem with this projects, though, is there's nothing here I'm actually really looking for, right? Like, I don't see Excel. I don't see PowerPoint. I don't see pivot tables. I don't see that you met deadlines and multitask. I don't see that you worked with cross-functional teams and customers and stakeholders. I don't see that you proactively solved a problem with data. Like, I don't think there's literally anything in this project that is relevant to, oh, here's dashboards. I saw one down here. Yeah, there's nothing here that is relevant to the actual role itself. So I'm going to need you to go back to the drawing board if you include that. So again, this is a problem. I have to go all the way down here until I find the first relevant experience, which I actually do find here. There's some good stuff here. Worked with, again, it should be past tense. Everything should be past tense, even if you still work there. It just flows better. It's fine. So past tense, worked with the CFO. Good. That's C-suite. They like that. And other departments, cross-functional. There we go. That's good. That's cross-functional. That counts. To pay vendors for hardware, software, and other business, helping run the company's operation. Cool. Tells me what you did. Assisted with month-end book closing through bank credit and inventory reconciliations. Okay, cool. Which, again, month-end is meeting deadlines using Excel, perfect, and Google Sheets. Great. Although I want to see Excel and Google Sheets, not Excel/Google Sheets. Categorize expenses in QuickBooks Online to build financial statements which led to accurate financial reporting. Good. Proactively doing stuff. Report on daily cash, credit card will help C-level understand how money. Perfect. Again, like, this is the problem, is all of this stuff, like, your accounting experience is more valuable in what they are looking for in relevant experience than whatever this project is. This project is holding you back. This stuff right here is actually the relevant stuff. So I want you to write the other stuff like you did here, and your work experience should be above the projects. And I don't think anything else in here is related. So you can actually probably remove the rest of your work experience. And I think it wouldn't hurt. Yeah, you can remove the rest of your work experience. So again, make it, even though you've done this for a bit, this is the only thing that is sort of relevant. So if anything, I would remove, yeah, I think remove everything else and then put the projects down here. That way they know. Also, your work history is a little scattered, so removing this will help. So even though it does remove your overall work history by 4 or 5 years, the fact that it is scattered could imply that you are a job hopper, not counting the intern, because interns are 3 months and that is expected. But yeah, so make the rest of your projects like this work experience and remove everything else under this and replace it with relevant projects, and I think you're going to have a much better chance. Because you're going to have to apply to remote roles, and remember, you need to put moving to X by Y date up here. So that is what I would do to fix it. Next resume. This is a resume of an HR generalist. So for HR generalist, which I will say this person stated they are looking for an HR specialist, but usually HR specialist is interchangeable with HR generalist, usually. So what we're looking for is HRIS platforms, which, to be clear, is what Workday is. The problems you have with Workday is not that it's an ATS, it's that it's an HRIS. My dog is barking. I apologize for that. Bear, you're fine. Let me finish reviewing this. So HRIS platforms, and I need to know which ones. Microsoft Office, MS Excel, Word, and PowerPoint. Again, interchangeable with the Google version of that. The number of employees your past companies have had. This is a number I actually do need. And again, I'm not going to be like, oh, you said 312 and you actually had 313. I just need a ballpark. Because somebody being an HR generalist for a company that has 5 people compared to a company that's 5,000, that's a different scope. So I need to know the ratio of that. And I have helped people in HR get jobs as well. Like, when other recruiters and people in HR need help, they come to me. It is what I do. So HR best practices in employment law, employee relations, staffing and payroll, talent acquisition, industry, and ATS. So again, if you noticed, I did put TA, which is what recruiters are now being called internally now. But it's lower on that list, and it's like a big problem with a lot of people in HR is they fill it to the brim with like talent acquisition, when no, like that's actually a minor part of your job. Most people in HR in the current climate of a business are not doing a ton of hiring. They may do some, they may start it off, but they're not primarily doing it. That's talent acquisition's job. So obviously if the company is like sub 30 people, it's going to change, but yeah, you don't want to fill it up on hiring. That's what recruiters and TA do. So bonuses for HR certs, so SHRM, CP, PHR, etc. So this person has an unknown ratio, so we do not know how good or bad this is, but let us find out. So 20 seconds on the clock, and go. Okay, professional summaries do not matter. Education is fine. Formatting is a little off. Core competencies does not matter. All right, service is strategic, HR partner to operations leader supporting 10K employees, good. Advising complaints, employment matters, led and managing complaint audits, insights, reduce risk, designing and communicating HIPAA and policy initiatives, and time. That's it. So if you notice, this person wasted a lot of time on unnecessary stuff. This is why summaries and Core competencies is not good because it takes away time from the stuff I can actually use to move you forward. So what they stated was, my overall goal is to become an HR business partner or manager. Okay, so manager is a little bit different because you need a little bit of leadership. But however, I feel like my resume gets rejected immediately. Yeah, it's not a good resume. You fill it to the brim with summaries and core competencies, and you don't tell me almost anything I need in the bullet points besides the company size, which is good. The company size is good. I have tried pivoting and applying for generalist roles, but that doesn't seem to be working for me either. Like, what is the difference between an HR specialist and a generalist? I don't think there's really much difference in the market and job titles. Like, these are still the things that you're looking for. Unless you're looking for a company that's like going to change it, and I believe I got the right qualifications for this, but I think a generalist and a specialist are the same thing in this case, because like, you're also not showing me what you're a specialist in. And a specialist would also be one of these, but more. Let's see. I'm not sure if my resume gets overlooked because of my title, which is entry level. No, it gets overlooked because it's bad and you fill the first half with irrelevant information. There's so many hot dogs and not enough hamburgers. My title is in HR compliance, puts me in a specialist category. I don't think it really does that much. I would love the opportunity to make it to the interview phase. I know I have the skills and capability for business partner or manager, but I don't get to showcase that in an interview. Yeah, because like your resume is bad. So I will say, for managers specifically, you will need to show some leadership, which is usually hiring, firing, performance reviews. Those are like manager things. If you've not done that, then you want to do like how you led the other people. And the goal is, again, how you got them to do the thing, not what you did, right? Your goal is to get the team to do it. That is what you need to show. So first off, fix your formatting, right? Make it look like this. This is easier to read than this. This is a one time I actually want more bolding. Wow, I never thought I'd say that. Your education should be bolded and your professional experience should be bolded. Again, not the actual titles or here, like let me highlight. What should be bolded is this and this, not this stuff within it. Just that there, and your name, which is up there. So again, make it look like this. Then a real problem here, though, is when you get down to these bullet points even. So serve as a strategic HR partner. What is strategic? So I'm not being a jerk when I say this, but like, you want to remove these, I don't know if you should call them like adjectives or like faster and all these extra stuff, because they're not provable. So I don't know what strategic means in this sentence, and I don't think you should do it. But serving as a HR partner is great to operation leaders. And then I want to know what type of operations, what industry were they in, right? Like, was it mechanical engineering? Was it how many cross-functional? What was the overall industry of this? I need to know. But the 10K employees is really good. I actually really like that bullet point. Advising on compliance, employee relation matters, and consistent people practices. Okay, good. And then here, led and manage internal compliance audits and delivering actionable insights to improve blah, blah, blah. I don't think that's what they're actually looking for. Like, you can look at these job postings. I don't think they're going to ask for that. Design and executed a company-wide HIPAA. This might actually be good. And data privacy improvement initiative. Develop targeting refresh training. Why do I care? On-site sessions for locations. That part's good. And launch an online module resulting in a dramatic reduction in violations with only one correctable issue reported forward. You actually don't even need to say that. Just say resulted in a, not dramatic, in a reduction in violations, which is good. That is something they want to see. That tells me like employee relations and stuff. But like, where... Okay, so here's the hiring part. Led an I-9s, giving me flashbacks. I've had to do so many of those. Compliance redesign issue, root cause analysis. Why do I care about root cause analysis? Proposing long-term process improvements. Why do you need to improve it? So this is fine. Training managers and weekly insights, which reduced completion errors and ensured 100% error of why is TNC important, right? Like, that's kind of the problem, is you don't tell me what TNC is. Why is that important? I've done these before, right? I am adjacent to your industry. I'm not HR, even though I'm not HR. Recruiters need to stop being called HR. We are different jobs at this point, but I've done a ton of I-9s and I know their importance. I don't know what TNC is. I don't know what that acronym is or why that's important. Partnered with HR leadership to transition I-9 ownership to... Why does that matter? Why does that matter? I don't know. Develop and deliver manager-facing training on HR processes, leadership. Good. That's good, but I want more, right? Like, your problem is it's so vague in corporate. Like, I understand, you know, I'm in an adjacent industry. I understand why it's important to use corporate language at corporate. The problem is your resume should not be corpo. Right now, what I'm missing is what HRIS platforms have you used? I don't know. I can't see a single one. What about Microsoft Office? Don't know, can't find it. Did find number of employees. That's good. I kind of found HR best practices and employment laws. You're like 50-50 on that, but I need it better. What about employee relations, staffing, and payroll? Where's that? Talent acquisition? Okay, but you just handed it off. You didn't actually do it yourself. So that's not there. What about the industry? I don't know. You didn't tell me. So the reason you're having an issue here is this resume is bad and it doesn't tell me what I need. I need more. I need you to pay attention to the job description themselves, right? Remember, not the responsibilities, the job description themselves. Because right now, all I know from your resume is that you supported 10K employees. Again, good. Excuse me. And you executed a HIPAA policy improvement, which reduced violations, which is fine. But that you can't only give me that after 2 pages. That's it. That's all I found. That was the only 2 things that are relevant. So focus on the relevancy. That goes for everybody. If it's not relevant, it's not important in your resume. But that's all I can do for this one. If anybody needs any more help, you could always join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST at twitch.tv/headlestheadhunter. That is where I get these keywords. That is where I record this and answer other questions that I cannot do in a YouTube video because I try to keep it shorter so it's not just 20 hours of me blabbering. And again, I want to thank you all for watching and liking and commenting, subscribing. I thank you very much for getting the word out there. I really appreciate it. And for all of my members who get access to videos a little bit early, and you can join that in the link below, thank you so much for supporting me like that. I really do appreciate it. So I will be here in the next video, and I will see you in the next video to help you get ahead of your job search. Later, y'all.